everybody. State Senator Kelly Dooner here. Thank you to TCAM and thank you to all the residents for taking the time to allow me into your home. It has truly been one of the greatest honors of my lifetime to serve as your state senator. When I first asked for your vote, I made one promise, and that promise was that I would always put the people of our district first, and every decision I made, every vote I cast, every bill I filed has been guided by you. As I'm rounding out my first term in office, I can proudly say that that promise has never changed. Over the past 2 years, my office has worked around the clock helping constituents navigate state government. We've assisted families dealing with unemployment, veterans seeking benefits, seniors needing assistance, small business owners struggling with state regulations, and residents simply trying to get through government's red tape. As a freshman senator, one of my proudest accomplishments was finally passing Dakota's law, which created the Retired Police and Military Working Canine Care Fund. These incredible canines spend their lives protecting our communities and our service members. When their service ends, they deserve to live out the remainder of their life with dignity and care which they have faithfully earned. I've worked to strengthen public safety, filing legislation to increase accountability and transparency in the state's EA shelter system, while continuing to support our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, and our first responders through legislation, amendments, and grant advocacy. Our first responders put their lives on the line every day, and they deserve a leader who will not only stand with them, but who will fight for them on Beacon Hill. One of my biggest concerns, and the concern I hear about the most, is affordability. Families are struggling with skyrocketing utility bills, which is why I introduced a comprehensive affordability package to help reform Mass Save, require independent audits, cap rate increases, and hold public hearings, as well as strengthening oversight of our utility system. I fought to provide meaningful relief for seniors, veterans, working families, and small businesses. Government should be working to lower your bills, not increase them. Education has always remained one of my top priorities. I've secured funding for our public schools, vocational schools, workforce development programs, career technical education, and I stood hand in hand with our Voc schools fighting to protect the merit-based admissions process because every student deserves an opportunity based on their hard work and their dedication. I have also been steadfast in my advocacy to revisit the Chapter 70 formula. I proudly supported Retirement Plus reforms for teachers who have dedicated their careers to educating the next generation. Strong schools build strong communities, and as a former city councilor, I understand the importance of local aid and have worked tirelessly to bring resources back home. I've secured millions of dollars of direct funding for infrastructure, public safety projects, downtown revitalization, municipal priorities, and conservation initiatives throughout the district. I have fought and succeeded in increasing unrestricted local aid and have brought $5 million plus in bond money that's been allocated for our communities. Small businesses are the backbone of our local economy, and I introduced a small business bill of rights that will help reduce unnecessary regulations, improve the permitting process, and just make state government more responsive to employers. We need to make it easier to start and grow businesses here in Massachusetts. I've remained committed to government accountability. Despite the increasing pressure at the State House, I have been steadfast in my commitment for a full legislative audit by our state auditor, which is what 72% of the voters, myself included, voted on. And I support making the legislature subject to the Public Records Law. As I look towards our future, this is just the beginning. I ran for office as a young woman who really just wanted to make some change and create a better future for our children. And I wake up every day just asking myself, how I can be a better senator than I was the day before, and what I can do better to better serve our district than I did the day before. And it's because of you guys that I get to do that. So thank you for your trust, for your support. It has been such a privilege to serve you, and God bless you all. God bless the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and God bless the greatest country on earth, the United States of America. Thank you.
My name is Lisa Field, and I am just completing my first year as a state representative. I want to thank TCAM for this opportunity to talk to voters. So let's talk about why I'm running for re-election. It's been the honor of my life to follow in the footsteps of my dear friend, the late Carol Doherty, who represented Taunton and Easton with such grace and common sense. Now here's the thing, I know what families like yours are up against because I've been there. I've had families and friends struggling with substance use and the crushing weight of the rising cost of living. I even lost my home at one point, and I'm now renting an apartment in a triple-decker. The support of family, friends, neighbors, and my faith helped me overcome those challenges. The kindness that sustained me during some tough times now inspires me every day to stand up to powerful interests on behalf of workers, families, and the neighborhoods where they live. That's why I fought to save Morton Hospital when its corporate owner went bankrupt, and I'm right now working to make sure Morton Hospital stays open. It's why I led opposition to a sludge burning plant being built in a working-class neighborhood in Taunton. It's why I'm working with nurses right now to make their workplaces safer, and with firefighters to eliminate cancer-causing chemicals from their gear. It's why I'm working with manufactured home residents to confront insurance issues that threaten their homes. It's why I have supported a no new taxes, balanced and bipartisan state budget that invests in health care, education, and public safety, while setting aside money to offset massive cuts imposed by the Republican Congress and White House. I'm running to make sure the voices of working families like yours are heard loud and clear at the State House. And that is why pretty much every organization that supports working families is supporting my re-election. Firefighters, police officers, teachers, nurses, steel workers, bricklayers, retirees, electrical workers. They all know they have a strong ally in me, and my opponents want to silence that voice. At the same time, I am proud of the work we have done standing up for Taunton and Easton and making sure we get our fair share of state investment. In just my first year, we are winning millions of dollars of investment in our schools, water and energy infrastructure, downtown, Watson State Park, the YMCA, the Taunton Performing Arts Center, and a training program to introduce young people to jobs in the trades. We have also built a model constituent service operation, devoting more than 500 hours to direct constituent service, helping citizens with health care, housing, and other challenges. More than 130 constituent cases, mostly involving the loss of a job or health care. Finally, let's talk about government transparency and accountability. Here's the truth. I am the only candidate in this race who worked to get the legislative audit question on the ballot and passed. I walked the neighborhoods, knocked the doors, made the phone calls. My opponents love talking and social media posting about transparency, while they have actually obstructed public input and access to records when they had the opportunity to set a better example. I voted for a bill that makes the legislature and governor subject to public records laws for the first time in history. A bill endorsed by two of the strongest government watchdog organizations, the ACLU and Common Cause. I am also the only Democrat to stand on the House floor to say directly to House leadership that the audit portion of that bill did not go far enough and we need to do more. I can respect those who voted differently, but my approach on difficult issues, or while battling management on behalf of working families, has always been, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Because my way or the highway thinking is what has created the gridlock in Washington that has hurt working families. We need focus and progress, not gridlock, on the challenges families in our community are struggling with. My first year working with so many people in the community has been, at times, interesting, challenging, and frustrating, but mostly inspiring. I look forward to continuing that work. For more information, check out my website, www.lisafieldforrep.com. I humbly and respectfully ask for your vote on September 1st.
Thank you, TCAM, for this opportunity. My name is Larry Quintal, candidate to be your next state representative. You may know me from my time proudly serving on the Taunton City Council, where I thoughtfully considered every issue based on the merits, not on politics, or serving as a volunteer on many numerous organizations in our community, whether it was helping seniors, veterans, or families in need. I have always been there to help. On November 3rd, you have a very important decision to make about the direction our district is going to take. I'm running for state representative because I believe it is time for a representative who is focused on making our lives more affordable, requiring public officials to be truly accountable to the people they serve, and being accessible to the people of Easton and Taunton. I call this the AAA plan: affordability, accessibility, and accountability. Let me start with affordability. Families in our district are being pushed harder than ever, but their paychecks aren't stretching far enough. Groceries cost more, utility bills keep climbing, property taxes raising, and the state government too often responds with spending instead of real relief. This has to change. As your representative, I will fight for policies that reduce the cost of living, not increase it. That means controlling spending, push back against unfunded mandates on our towns, and supporting real tax relief for working families and seniors who are being squeezed out of the community they truly love. Affordability just isn't a talking point, it's a necessity. We need a representative who will vote for an income tax cut and vote for the rollback of sales tax to 5%, not one who votes against tax cuts. We need a representative who will vote in favor of sending back access revenue to our cities and towns to stop increases in property taxes, not a vote against our communities. We need a representative who votes to cut the unnecessary fees out of our utility bills, not vote for climate change special interest groups who want to pay more and more. We can make Massachusetts affordable, but it will take representation committed to fighting for your wallet. Now let's talk about accountability. We need to restore trust in our government. That starts with the audit. Taxpayers deserve to see how their money is being spent, period. 72% of the state supported the audit. There is no reason why the audit should be completed. We don't need a special piece of legislation. We need the legislature to comply with the auditor. It is time for Beacon Hill to stop playing games. Accountability means answers, not excuses. As your state representative, I will not just support the audit, I will work to end the legislature's exemption from the open meeting and open records law. You deserve transparency. As a candidate, I will not take one dime from a lobbyist or special interest group. I believe that our representative should vote for the district, not for the insiders, not for the speaker, nor special interest groups depending on your tax dollars. My loyalties will never be divided. My only obligation will be to you. Finally, too often, people feel that Beacon Hill is so far away and out of touch. Decisions get made behind closed doors, and working families hear about them after the fact. That's not how government should work. I believe as a representative should be exactly that accessible. I will hold regular office hours in the district, attend community meetings, and make sure you can reach me when you need help or answers. No barriers, just open communication with people I represent. I will not disappear then reappear during election years. My door will always be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when I say I'm the AAA candidate, I mean it. Affordability, working for families and seniors. Accessibility, so your voice is heard. And accountability, so government finally answers to you. This campaign isn't about politics as usual. It's about getting results for the people who live and work here. Together we can make the State House more responsible, more responsive, and be more respectful of the taxpayers. I would be honored to have you vote November 3rd. For more information, please visit larryquintal.com. I thank you and God bless.
I'm Edward Walsh, a lifelong Taunton resident and candidate for state representative for the 3rd Bristol District. Virtually every day for the last 4 decades, I put a badge on my chest and a gun on my hip. I have protected my community and served it proudly. I am running for state representative because I believe that the job of a representative is to represent all of the constituents, not just those who agree with you or contribute to your campaign. I believe that Beacon Hill has too many insiders, representatives who are beholden to party leadership. We need independent voices and common sense, regular people, not politicians. I am a seasoned and experienced leader with proven results. I manage a workforce with over 100 employees, including both law enforcement and civilians. I am responsible for a balanced budget, union negotiations, crisis management, and daily problem solving. Politically, I am not a culture warrior, and I'm willing to cross the aisle and work with everyone to seek solutions to the issues confronting us. A good idea is a good idea regardless of where it came from. We should not ignore it because it comes from a different party or group. Southeastern Massachusetts is facing multiple challenges, and we need representation on Beacon Hill that is going to address these issues. We have a housing crisis where many locals are frozen out of the market because the Boston housing market is driving people south where it's more affordable for them. Families are leaving Massachusetts for other states because they simply cannot afford to live here. We need to address the housing issue as well as finding solutions such as better child care tax credits so people don't have to choose between working a job and staying home to care for a child. The cost of utilities continue to rise. And the reality is that the physical infrastructure in the region is antiquated and cannot support the current and future electrical needs. You should not have to pay more for the delivery of gas than you actually pay for the gas itself. We should be able to install electrical charging stations downtown, but we cannot because of antiquated electrical grid that cannot support it. Private electric companies have the ability to pay for these upgrades. Municipalities need state assistance to do so. These are the issues that impact everyday life for residents of Taunton and Easton. We need strong representation at the state level to ensure we have the resources we need to thrive in our communities. I am a police chief, an attorney, and a veteran. I have dedicated my life to serving my community, my city, and my country. I am ready to bring real-life experience and common sense to Beacon Hill. I would appreciate your vote on the state primary on September 1st. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jamison Souza, and I am running for state representative because the 5th Bristol District deserves a representative who understands the challenges facing working families and who has a proven record bringing people together to deliver real results. Throughout my career in public service, I have never been interested in simply holding a title or standing in for a picture. I have always believed that elected officials should be judged by what they accomplish for the people. Let me tell you a little bit about me. As a member of the Somerset Planning Board, I helped create the town's first ever master plan. We digitized the town's maps, modernized the permitting process, and updated zoning. We also helped redesign Main Street with new sidewalks and vintage style lighting that strengthened the character of our community. As a member of the Somerset School Committee, I helped build our first school in more than 50 years. We brought special education programs back into the district. We secured a $1.6 million sustainable energy grant that saved approximately $120,000 every year. We developed the first comprehensive capital improvement plan. We improved air quality, modernized fire systems, upgraded technology, installed security cameras, and worked with private donors and law enforcement to make our schools safer. As a selectman, I continued working strengthening local services, support responsible economic development, address infrastructure needs, and make sure residents had a voice. We did the largest road work in years with paving new streets, fixing old sidewalks, adding new sidewalks, repaving parking lots like the Council on Aging. We worked with the Water and Sewer Commissioners to replace miles of water mains and place fire hydrants on streets that needed them. Our committee worked with the school department in assisting with funding to replace windows in an elementary school. We broke down the silos in all the departments and started working on real-time budgets together that saved the taxpayers each year. We balanced the budget that had a $1.5 million shortfall, and most of all, we stabilized those taxes in the town. I am currently a small business owner. I was a former program director of a nonprofit in a gateway city, and I was a former union member. With my first job, I worked as a member of the United Food and Commercial Workers, Local 328. In all these jobs, I learned and I realized what it means to work hard, meet payroll, manage a budget, and be accountable for results. I am running because families across the 5th Bristol are being squeezed. Housing, electricity, groceries, healthcare, childcare, and property taxes all cost more. Seniors who have spent their lives building our communities are worried about whether they can afford to remain in their homes. Young people wonder whether they will ever be able to buy a home in the towns where they grew up. Our communities cannot afford a representative who simply shows up for photographs and follows someone else's lead. We need a strong, independent voice who will show up, do the work, build relationships, make the tough decisions, and bring resources back. I will fight for more predictable local aid, meaningful relief from high energy and healthcare costs, attainable housing, strong public schools, safer communities, and responsible economic development that creates good paying jobs without putting the burden on the taxpayers. I understand how state decisions affect municipal budgets because I have made difficult decisions before. I know how to work collaboratively because I've spent years bringing people together. Most importantly, I have a record of turning plans into results. I am not running to represent one political party, one neighborhood, or one group of people. I am running to represent every resident. Whether you are a Democrat, Republican, or unenrolled, my door will always be open. Your voice will always matter to me. That is how I led in the past, and that is how I will continue to lead in the future. This election is about experience, leadership, and results. You can learn more about me at electjamisonsouza.com. I respectfully ask for your vote, and please go out and vote for Jamison Souza. Thank you.
Hello, I'm State Representative Justin Thurber, and it's been an honor to serve you for these past 20 months. 4 years ago, I ran for this office because I wanted to be the kind of official who keeps his word, a representative people could actually point to as an example. When I say I'm always working for you, I don't just mean the hours. In every meeting and every place I go, I'm looking for ways to make our district better and solve problems as close to the local level as possible. I've seen firsthand that our residents are struggling. We don't need another politician full of empty promises. Too many elected officials believe every problem can only be fixed at the State House, when a lot of our challenges actually come from the State House. That's why I've been working so hard right here in the district, helping people where they are now while the state continues to wrestle with the affordability crisis. Even though I post weekly updates on Facebook, I know many of you are busy, so here's a look at some of the work I've done. To help small businesses, I serve on the Small Business Committee. I've connected the 5th Bristol District with the Massachusetts Office of Business Development and the Southeast Economic Development Corporation. I regularly visit local employers and workforce programs, support businesses through site visits, ribbon cuttings, and access to state grants, and host business tours and legislative breakfasts. I work to cut red tape and fight new costs and mandates on Beacon Hill so Massachusetts remains a place where small businesses can start and grow. Now, on the issue of affordability, I help constituents secure medical care, housing support, utility assistance, employment resources, and veterans benefits. I'm a strong voice on the Climate Action Committee, fighting against the costly mandates, fees, and taxes. I advocate for tax relief, increased state aid, and fixing the broken school funding formula. And I launched and helped run a district-wide food pantry that now has 5 locations serving over 145 households. And I brought resource fairs to connect agencies with residents in need. I also submitted an amendment to return at least $100 million a year in fair share surplus to cities and towns on a per capita basis. That would be roughly $600,000 to every legislative district for education and infrastructure. Unfortunately, every Democrat voted against it. I've started building public-private partnerships so we don't have to wait on the State House. For example, I connected St. Anne's Hospital with the Somerset Police Department so they could equip their cruisers with trauma bags. And we're expanding that collaboration across the rest of my district to deliver more training and stronger partnerships. I'm your constant voice at the State House to lower energy costs, deliver targeted tax relief, and keep life affordable so our children don't have to leave the state. Education is also a top priority for me and my wife, who she's a teacher, and I filed legislation that delivers tax relief for parents and protects the central role of families. I strongly support vocational and technical training, fight unfunded mandates to keep decision-making local, and regularly visit classrooms and school events. I make it a point to recognize outstanding students, educators, and athletes at the State House, and I advocate for full education funding while rejecting burdensome mandates from Boston. I'm a ranking minority member of the Veterans Committee, and as a 29-year U.S. Air Force Reserve veteran, I bring firsthand experience and fight to protect benefits, cut red tape for healthcare access, and am a regular presence at local veteran ceremonies, parades, and events. I volunteer to speak, serve food, handle setup and cleanup at veterans gatherings, and I've personally helped a local veteran move into assisted living. And I attend funerals of unaccompanied veterans so no service member is buried alone. I was for the audit from the beginning. I helped the state auditor to get it on the ballot, and at the State House, I have supported every amendment to make it happen and have voted against every attempt to undermine the will of the people. I stand with the 72% of the Massachusetts voters who supported auditing the legislature. In addition to this work, I fulfill every State House obligation, attend every committee hearing, and maintain a perfect 100% voting record, something more than 47% of elected officials in the state cannot claim. My office has processed hundreds of unemployment requests and answered thousands of emails. We always try to go above and beyond to make sure constituent needs are being met. As you can see, I've done a lot in the past 20 months. Every day I'm working to be your voice and redefine what a state representative can and should do. I work every day to earn your vote. I respectfully ask you to visit my Facebook page or website, justinthurber.com, and to see that I'm a man of my word and a person of action, someone who won't wait years for the state to maybe fix our problems. It would be my honor to build on what we've started, and I respectfully ask for your vote so we can keep delivering results for the people of our district.